Welcome back to the Red Zone. We wrap things up this week, as always, with Sports Information Director Clark Teuscher. Clark, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
So the men's soccer team moves to 7-2 with the win over Lakeland College this weekend in overtime fashion.
Ryan Johnson, one of the guys that really hasn't been one of the top goal scorers, but he's certainly a veteran player. He's been big in the midfield for the team. Comes up with a goal to put us ahead earlier in the game, and then comes back after Lakeland tied it up to put one away about 6.5 minutes into overtime to get the big win on the road. Yeah,
you mentioned Ryan Johnson here in CCIW Player of the Week with 2 goals and an assist, and they start the tough conference schedule this week. The Cardinals really have a lot of teams that they need to sort of look out for, but they do have a chance to sort of be a sleeper team.
There really isn't anything that you would call an easy game in the conference in terms of men's soccer. It's really developed into one of the tougher conferences among small schools in the nation. So you're certainly going to have to be on your top of your game, stay healthy each week, and I think they've got the horses to do it. It's just putting everything together at the right time.
On the women's tennis team, they fall to Carthage in their CCIW match yesterday, but over the weekend they take down Dominican with the 7-4 win.
It's a young team, a big win, and they've been able to put together a pretty decent record this fall. They're coached very well in doubles play in particular. They swept the doubles matches in that match, so certainly a strong point for the Cardinals there.
The Red Zone was there to see the Cardinals soar past the Stars. Let's go to the highlight.
North Central College women's tennis team comes in winning 5 of their last 6 as they get set to face non-conference foe Dominican University, who start at number 2 doubles, where Madeline Urban and Reynolds Cross get set to represent the Cardinals against Barbara Berner and Rosemary Ochanian. In just their second match together, Cardinals lead 4-1. Urban serves, then backhands the return, and she nails it down the line past Berner. Next game point, Urban smashes Ochanian's serve with a backhand for break, 6-1 Cardinals. Cardinals fighting for another game point. Cross volleys it and sets up another Urban smash. They get a kick out of that one as they lead 7-1. Match point now for the Cardinals. The Urban show ends as she takes the serve and returns it down the line again. 8-2 North Central as they swept all 3 doubles. Katie Hatch, number 2 singles for the Cardinals, facing off against Emily Hereford for the Stars. She leads 3-1 in the first set. Hatch's serve leads to an unforced error and the game. Next game point, a short serve and volley is finished up as Hatch smashes it for game to win 5-0. She'd take the first set 6-1. Second set, Hatch leading 4-0. She moves to the end line, sending it to Hereford, who hits it into the net. 5-0 Hatch. Hatch now looking for the match. She's able to tally her second win on the day by lobbing 2 returns before Hereford hits it long for the match. Hatch takes it 6-1, 6-0, and North Central wins 8-1 over the Stars.
You mentioned the young Cardinals on the team. Girls like Jenny Vasquez, Reynolds Cross, Rebecca Ross, all underclassmen. It's got to be a great foundation for that program for the future.
Yeah, they feel really good about where they're at in terms of talent. It's just going to be a matter of keeping that group together and bringing them along.
And moving on, women's volleyball, they take second at the Wheaton tournament, and the only team they lost to is eventual champion Cornell College, and then they bounced back and beat Wheaton this week as well.
Yeah, it was a tough team, Cornell. It was the last match of the weekend, so certainly there was some fatigue there as well. So that's something to look at and possibly address in terms of the playing rotation. But they bounced back on Tuesday, went back to Wheaton, and beat a team that beat them twice last year, including in the play-in match for the conference tournament. So definitely a step forward. They're one of 3 teams remaining in the conference that's unbeaten right now, at least in terms of CCIW play. So they've definitely set themselves up to do some things late in the season.
And Kedron Orison, she makes the all-tournament team. That's now 3 tournaments and 3 all-tournament teams for her this year.
Yeah, she's been the beneficiary of some really good defense and passing in the back row for the Cardinals. Sarah Eggert as a defensive specialist, being able to manage the attacks by the other team, and then Laura Klug with her ability to set things up for the hitters the way they like them. And Kedron, in terms, she's leading the conference in attack percentage right now, which certainly leads one to believe she's a pretty big beneficiary of an improved offensive system this season.
And the Cardinals weren't given much credit for the CCIW this year, but really they've been showing that they have some promise this season.
Yeah, usually the preseason polls are judged on what happened last season, and we didn't have a lot of the players we have this year last season, so it's been an opportunity for them to prove themselves here in the first half of the season, and now they're going to be a little more of a targeted team here in the last few weeks, so they're going to have to be ready for that.
Yeah, they've really done a great job with recruiting, bringing in players that not only are going to help the team in the long run, but are really making an immediate impact this year.
Yeah, that's what they needed. I mean, there were some spots that needed immediate attention. Sometimes you look to transfers to get that, but they went the 4-year route and brought in some high school players that had quite a bit of club experience, and I think you've been seeing that a lot in terms of how they've been able to keep their composure and play in the tough matches this season.
And the men's cross-country team, they rested a lot of their big guns this past weekend, but this Friday they head to the land of the Fighting Irish to Notre Dame to take on some Division I opponents.
Yeah, you know, that's a race that's going to see them up against teams from all divisions, including a lot of Division I programs. It's a race that they've always performed well at. Notre Dame is a fast course. It's on a golf course, so it's well manicured as well. It's in good shape, and you know, they keep the field kind of small compared to some other meets, just because they want to make sure that the integrity of the race remains intact. So it's definitely one that the guys look forward to all season long. It's one that they've typically performed well in.
Well, Clark, thanks so much for joining us and keeping us up to date on all things North Central.
Thank you.
The Cardinals hope to start off conference play the right way when they welcome Elmhurst College to Benedetti Worley Stadium on Saturday. Kickoff set for 6 p.m. The Red Zone will be there. We hope you will too. See you next week.